Hey guys, welcome to the homestead. So today I'm out here with the sheep, checking them out, seeing how much they're eating that last bale down right there. And I got some storm damage, it looks like, on one of these trees that we have. They usually use it for shelter sometimes during the summer when the storms come through. You get a summer storm. But one of the storms brought that branch down right there, and it's dead off that cedar tree. Anyway, over the last few days, 2 days for sure, a lot of you guys have been sending me these articles, and I can't really talk about, you guys send me articles I can't talk about here on YouTube. I'm going to put some things on the screen, so if you're paying attention, you can watch the screen and know what I'm talking about. But I can't talk about these things here at YouTube, but I still want to do a video here at YouTube because there's some other things I want to talk about along with it. But what I want to talk about here on these things, I know it's concerning. And you're asking yourself, what are you going to do? Because you're looking at these things and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to be? What can I buy that's safe? Is it okay to still go to the store and buy the things I want to buy? And, is it going to make me sick? Is it going to make me, have heart troubles? So, you ask all these things and you look at these issues, and it goes back to what I've told you to do before many times. Be a producer. I have these sheep right here, and look at they just basically make more of themselves, and it's meat production. And then I can go ahead and harvest animals, like deer and stuff during the during the fall, and put that as my meat production. Then I find local farmers who raise cattle that will sell beef and raise their animals in a responsible fashion that I approve of, and that I can buy from them. I support them. So I don't understand and know what's all going on. I don't know if this is all by design. I watched a video the other day. It was called The Epic Economist, I think is what it was. I'll put a link on the screen. But I mean, it's a doom and gloom channel, and he talks about a lot of things. He makes a couple points. Basically, the whole video that he did was a long video, and it really just brings up 2 points. Number one, the drought is really hurting the cattle farmers in most of the country. Most of the country right now is in a major drought. And because of that drought, they can't grow feed. And because they don't have feed, they're taking a lot of their cattle to market now where they can get high prices because of inflation, and they're offloading their herd because they can't afford to keep them. A lot of the reason they can't grow feed is because they can't get fertilizer to grow the feed. But the other real big issue, even besides, because listen, most of the hay is just grass. And so, but you got to have rain to get grass. So if you don't have rain, it doesn't matter how much fertilizer you got. You ain't going to have feed. So they're reducing their herds. And right now, prices are at an all-time high because of inflation, but they don't know what to expect. Some people think prices are going to go up, they're going to go down. But the second point that he makes, besides the fact that there's a drought in much of the country, 2/3 of the entire cattle, beef, livestock, 2/3 of the beef livestock that we have in this country lives right now or exists right now in drought areas. 2/3. So you've got the drought. The second thing he makes mention of that I thought was very important was that our cattle numbers are at the lowest levels in this country since 1963. Since 1963, we have never seen beef cattle numbers this low. So if that's the case, now, is that by design? I don't know. Is it a result of all these things coming together at a perfect storm? I don't know. But that's the reality of where we live right now. I know we all know there's people out there who don't want you to eat meat anymore. They don't want you to eat meat. They want you to eat other things, and crickets and and whatever. But if you grow your own, meat's not that big a deal. So let me tell you a little bit about a principle that I have, that I have seen a lot of people do. because a lot of people out there in my audience who are like, Zach, I don't have the space to grow anything. You have this homestead with this land, you know, and you have the space where you can put these animals out here. I don't have that ability. Okay, I get it. You know, there's people out there I've met before in the past as I make my travels and do my talks and go to places and meet folks. They only have a small amount of land, but it's enough land to put 2 cows on. And so what they'll do is they'll buy 2 cows at the sale barn as young calves, raise them up, put them on grass, raise them for about 18 months, and then take one to auction, sell it, and then take one to the butcher and butcher it and put that in their freezer. And the one they take to auction, they'll take the money of the 2 that they sold, of the one that they sold, and buy 2 more young calves, young steers, whatever, bulls at the cattle barn, and then raise those 2 up for 18 months. And they'll have a good amount of meat from that one that they raised up to 18 months in the freezer until the time that those are sold. Now, for a bigger family, that might not work. For me, the beef's going to probably be long gone by the time you get that other one. But at least you've got 2 now on pasture that you're going to continue to raise, even if you have a small amount of land. You know, maybe a few acres. But you could do something like that. I've seen a lot of families. It's the same way with sheep. Let's just say you've got 2 acres, an acre. It's like right now, all this paddock right here you see, all this grass is 1 acre. Okay, I can't support all these sheep on this 1 acre. They have to go out in other places and feed. But you could put like 3 or 4 sheep on an acre. And you take those 3 or 4 sheep, raise them up, and then take a few to sale, and then put the other 2, like they say 2 to sell, and then take 2 to the butcher and put that in your freezer, and then you go buy 2 more with the ones you sold, or 4 more with the ones you sold. Some system like that where you're constantly, you know, raising up some and selling some, and you can do it on a small scale just for you and your family. Is it going to keep you in meat for every meal all throughout the year? Absolutely not. Nope, it's not going to work. But it gives you some meat. It gives you some of that protein. It's a way to have meat, because I'm telling you, I think the way they're planning things, I mean, again, I don't know, is this some grand plan or is this just some perfect storm? I mean, it's not rain. Listen, I don't care how much the WEF plans, they can't stop the rain. I know some people are like, well, they got weather machines and they can stop the weather. Okay, maybe, I don't know. But I mean, you know, if the good Lord Almighty says it wants to rain in North Dakota or South Dakota, it's going to rain in South Dakota, despite whatever weather machine they have. I think a lot of this stuff is just the curses of, you know, living the way America is living, the unrighteous debauchery that we see today. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The point remains, beef cattle are at the lowest levels since 1963 in this country. And 2/3 of the current beef herd is living right now in drought areas of major drought in the United States. So that's what you do. I'm giving you a solution, a possible solution that you could use to go ahead and raise up some animals, even if it's on a small scale that you and your family can put in the freezer. And yeah, you'll have to process probably these on your own, which means you'll have to learn how to butcher. The more you do something, the better you get at it. So practice during hunting season, practice with the ones that you've got. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Watch videos, but nothing beats experience. You can read all the books and watch all the videos you want, but nothing's going to beat experience. So it is springtime, and there are a number of issues that we have in the spring. I've talked about this before. Many of these have some really poopy, runny butts right now because they're on fresh spring grass. We let them out every day, and they go to some of the pastures that we have here, and they're eating this fresh, green spring grass. And it gives them the runs. Let's see. Look at that one right there. See that poopy butt? Poopy butt. You can see their poops are not exactly pellets anymore. I don't know if you can see that or whatever. They're not pellets. Some of them are. Some of them are doing pellets pretty good. I don't know if you can see that right there. Pellets. That's what you want. You want to see pellets. Well, here's how we fix that. In the spring, when they get ooh, that's a really nasty poop right there. If you can see that, yeah. What you do in the springtime when they're on that fresh spring grass and they got the runs. I just put this out yesterday. Actually, Caleb did because he's taking care of the sheep right now because Joshua was away. But we put in the water and it looks like tea. That's not dirty water. It looks like tea. Why? Because I have these tea bags sitting in there. And these tea bags are full of raspberry leaf, red raspberry leaves. And what this is an astringent. And it will dry up their insides so that they don't have the runs when they're eating that fresh spring grass. So it's just a trick. You can even harvest your own. You can use blackberry root. You can dig up blackberry tree, blackberry vines and get the roots in the ground and then cut those up, boil them, and then pour that water that you boiled those blackberry roots in and pour that into your water. Or you can just harvest the leaves. In the summertime, blackberry leaves, red raspberry leaves, they're all an astringent. They're all high, super high in tannins, and there'll be something that will dry out them in the time that they need it. Not all these sheep have a poopy butt, but a few do. And so this stuff helps. If you have the spring runs for your animals from that fresh spring grass, this is the stuff to use. I've got 4 of these tea bags in the water here, and they'll just sit there and they'll make that, it's really kind of giving it a tint to that water. But it's good stuff for drying them out. Oh, there's one that's got a really poopy butt right there. Yeah. So he'll be all right. He'll drink the water and they'll get the pellets again. But some of them are definitely suffering from a little bit of that spring grass. So anyway, all right, guys, let me know what you're doing below. I know it's crazy times out there. I know we're looking at all this stuff that they're making and like, my gosh, is it going to be safe to buy food at the store anymore? At some point, it might not be. Do what you can to raise up your own. Now's the time to get started on it. Even if it's on a small scale, you can always get bigger. But get started on a small scale. Grow something. Be a producer. All right, guys. See you next time in the homestead. Bye. This is Grandma. Grandma survived the Great Depression. She survived the Great Depression because her supply chain was local and she knew how to do stuff. Grandma was smart. Grandma told us to make do with what you got. She also said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Homesteading is all about self-reliance and declaring ourselves to be independent from the system. We grow our own food, we raise our own animals, and doing these things helps safeguard our families from the unpredictable world that surrounds us. But what about banking? I love being my own power company, but what about being my own bank? Right now, our country is over $30 trillion in debt and rising. The Fed keeps printing money and the Congress won't stop spending money. Staying attached to the modern banking system and their investment vehicles is like putting all of your eggs in one very, very fragile basket. On one side, you have the threat of inflation and your savings value floating away. And the other side is a possible deflationary stock market collapse, just like what happened in the 1930s. Genesis Gold Group is like a basket holding eggs, and these eggs are impossible to break. History shows us that all paper investments have and will return to their intrinsic value eventually. 0. But gold, silver, and other precious metals have never, ever been worthless. In every collapse throughout history, people have turned back to precious metals to find monetary value. If you have a 401k, an IRA, or a savings account where you're literally watching the purchasing power inflate away, give Genesis Gold Group a call right now. Today, this instant. They can develop a strategy for you and the days ahead. I can tell you how I raise sheep, I can tell you how I raise chickens, or the best way to grow tomatoes, or how to hook up a solar panel. But Genesis Gold Group is your best shot at safeguarding your hard-earned savings and investments during this increasingly turbulent time in history. The link and phone number is in the description below, or visit their website at genesisgoldgroup.com. And be sure to say you heard about them from An American Homestead. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of An American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.